You wake up, check your phone, scroll, eat, talk, exist. But somewhere, quietly, something else is happening. You are dying. Not dramatically, not with blood or screams, but silently, second by second. Every blink, every breath, every passing heartbeat is a small funeral for the time you'll never get back. You are decomposing in real time, just politely enough that nobody notices. We like to pretend we have time, telling ourselves later, tomorrow, or when I'm ready. But the truth is, tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and later is just another word for never. Time doesn't stop because you're tired, it doesn't pause for heartbreak, and it doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It moves like a river, unstoppable, uncaring, and irreversible. You can waste your life scrolling through screens, complaining about how unfair it all is, wishing for chances that will never return, or you can finally open your eyes and see the truth. You're already dying, so live. Death isn't when your heart stops. Death begins when you stop truly living, when you stop chasing what sets your soul on fire and start existing instead of experiencing. The decay begins not in your body, but in your spirit. You can spend your entire life alive but never awake, following routines, school, job, sleep, repeat, until one day you blink and realize decades have vanished and all you ever did was survive. People say life is short, but that's not true. It's the longest thing you'll ever do. It just feels short because we waste most of it pretending we have more. You feel it sometimes, that quiet panic at night when everything's silent and your thoughts whisper, "What am I even doing?" That's the truth trying to wake you up, your inner voice begging you to stop sleepwalking through your existence. You've built your life around distractions, but death strips all distractions away. And when that moment comes, when you're staring at the ceiling, realizing time's no longer yours, you'll wish you had lived differently. Because no one regrets dying. They regret not living. Time doesn't shout, it whispers. It slips through your fingers while you argue, overthink, and wait. Every second wasted is stolen from your dreams, yet you treat time as if it's infinite. Someone younger than you has already died. Someone older than you is begging for one more day. The only difference between you and them is that you still think you have time. But what if you don't? What if this is your last year, your last week, your last sunrise? Would you still scroll, still complain, still care about people's opinions? Or would you finally live like your life meant something? The clock is ticking, not metaphorically, literally. You can almost hear it if you stay silent long enough. Tick, another second gone. Tick, another dream waiting for courage. Tick, another moment you'll never get back. Most people hear it and do nothing. They keep waiting for someday, but someday isn't coming. Life isn't waiting. Death isn't waiting. So why are you? Every day you postpone your dreams, you make a quiet deal with death, trading what could be for what's comfortable. And the worst part is you don't even notice it happening. You scroll, you smile, you laugh, but the truth lingers behind your every distraction. You're running out of time. Maybe that's the cruel joke, that we live like immortals while every second bleeds away behind our backs. Maybe that's why we fill our days with noise so we don't have to hear the ticking. Maybe that's why we chase things that don't matter, because it's easier than admitting how fragile it all is. And yet the more you ignore it, the louder the silence becomes. The truth isn't poetic, it's terrifying. You are temporary. Everything you love will fade. One day, even your name will mean nothing. But that isn't tragedy, that's freedom. Because when you truly understand that you are already dying, you stop fearing loss and you start embracing life. You stop wasting time on people who drain you. You stop waiting for perfect moments and you start realizing that every moment is already perfect because it's slipping away. The fear of death disappears the moment you start living honestly. You realize you were never supposed to find meaning, you were supposed to create it. You stop chasing immortality through achievements or followers or money, because deep down, you know none of it will matter in the end. The only thing that will matter is whether you lived awake, whether you felt, loved, created, broke, healed, tried anything but simply existed. You think you have time, but time has you. It's been holding you since the day you were born, pulling you slowly toward your final breath. You can pretend you don't see it, but the truth remains. Every sunrise you witness is one less you'll ever see. Every breath is a countdown. Every heartbeat is a reminder that the end isn't someday, it's already begun. And maybe, just maybe, that's not something to fear. Maybe that's your permission to finally stop existing and start living. Because you are already dying. And since death is certain, the only real question left is, how alive can you be before it arrives? The strange thing about time is that it doesn't care if you notice it or not, it keeps moving. Whether you waste it, cherish it, or cry through it, it flows all the same. You think you're managing time, but really it's managing you, shaping your days, carving you away grain by grain until nothing remains. We measure our lives in years, birthdays, milestones, as if numbers make dying easier to understand. We celebrate growing older, not realizing we're celebrating coming closer to the end. The candles we blow out are silent countdowns. The photos we take are ghosts of moments already gone. You hold onto people, but they too are fading, walking their own timelines toward disappearance. You tell yourself you'll see them again, but deep down you know you might not. You tell yourself there's still time to fix things, to say what you never said, to live the life you planned. But time doesn't negotiate. It doesn't bargain or forgive. It just erases, slowly, beautifully, brutally. And we keep pretending it doesn't. We spend our youth wishing to grow up and our adulthood wishing to go back, never once realizing that every wish is just another way to run from the moment we're actually in. You tell yourself you're living for the future, but the future is a fantasy. It doesn't exist. There's only now, this second, this breath, this heartbeat. Everything else is imagination. The past is memory. The future is illusion. And between them lies a fragile, flickering moment we call life, and you're wasting it, worrying about things that don't matter. You chase perfection, approval, and validation, trying to fill a void that's not meant to be filled. You're trying to outlive death by becoming someone, by being remembered. But even memories fade. You think legacy will save you, but one day even your legacy will be forgotten. The universe will not remember your name, your success, your pain, or your love. One day the sun will explode, the earth will vanish, and every trace of your existence will disappear. So tell me, why do you take life so seriously? Why do you fear judgment from people who are dying too? Why do you measure your worth by numbers, achievements, or followers when none of it follows you to the grave? Death doesn't care about your image. It doesn't care how many people loved you or how much you achieved. It only asks one thing. Did you live? Not exist, not survive, live. Did you let yourself feel the rain without rushing? Did you ever look at the sky and actually see it? Did you ever let silence speak instead of trying to fill it? Or have you been so busy trying not to die that you forgot to live at all? Most people are afraid of dying because they've never really lived. They've only endured. They wake up, go through motions, bury their dreams beneath responsibility, and call that maturity. But there's nothing mature about wasting your one brief life pretending you have another. You think time heals all wounds, but time doesn't heal, it erases. The people who hurt you will be gone. The memories that broke you will fade. The pain that once felt eternal will dissolve into nothing. And one day, so will you. Isn't that strange? How everything you thought mattered so much, the arguments, the insecurities, the plans, all of it becomes meaningless in the face of death. Yet, we act as if we'll be here forever. We fear aging as though wrinkles mean weakness, not proof that you've survived. We chase youth like it's the answer, when youth is just the illusion of having time. You were never promised a long life, only a real one. But real doesn't mean safe. Real means raw, uncertain, vulnerable, terrifying. Real means stepping into the unknown and accepting that you will lose things, that people will go, that time will always win. But maybe that's where the beauty hides, in the temporary. Maybe things are beautiful because they end. Maybe love only means something because it can be lost. Maybe meaning only exists because death does. You see, death isn't the enemy, it's the reminder, the quiet, patient reminder that tells you, don't wait, don't waste, don't sleep through your own life. Every time you say someday, death smiles because it knows someday never comes. Every time you ignore your dreams, death claps softly in the dark. And when you finally look back and realize how much time you've traded for comfort, death whispers, I warned you. But there's hope in that whisper too, a cruel kind of mercy. Because if you're hearing this, it means you're still here. You're still breathing. You still have time, though less than yesterday.
You can still choose to live before you die. You can still say what you've been afraid to say. You can still chase what you've been told is impossible. You can still forgive, still love, still begin again. It's never too late until it is, and when it is, you won't get a second chance. You might think you'll have time to make things right, but death doesn't RSVP. It arrives unannounced, mid-laugh, mid-sentence, mid-dream. And when it comes, there's no, wait, not yet. So live now, not tomorrow, not when things are perfect, not when you feel ready. Live messy, live uncertain, live fully, because you are dying. And that's what makes life urgent. Time is both your greatest gift and your quietest killer. It doesn't steal, it trades. Every second you get costs you a second of your life. The price of living is dying, and yet we act like that's unfair. But maybe it's not. Maybe the fact that we die is what makes life worth living. If you were immortal, you'd never truly appreciate anything. You'd never look at the sunset and think, this might be my last. You'd never tell someone you love them with urgency. You'd never try because you'd think you had forever. Death is the reason love feels sacred, the reason small moments matter. And the truth is, you're not running out of time. Time is running out of you, so use what's left wisely. Stop chasing the illusion of a perfect life. Stop fearing ending. Stop waiting for the right moment, because it's already here. Disappearing one heartbeat at a time, you're already dying. So live before you disappear completely. One day you'll wake up for the last time and you won't even know it. You'll stretch, check your phone, think about the messages you need to reply to, the plans you have later, the future you still believe is waiting for you. But the truth is, your future is already behind you. The moment you were born, your death began its countdown, and every passing day is a quiet subtraction. We live pretending that endings belong to other people, that death is something distant, something we'll deal with later. But later is a myth. It's a lie we use to protect ourselves from the unbearable reality that there may not be one. Time doesn't announce its theft. It just takes what it wants, silently, invisibly, constantly. You won't hear the clock stop. You'll only notice that it's already too late. We chase purpose, happiness, love, fame, all temporary forms of distraction from the single truth that nothing lasts. And still, we cling to meaning like children gripping fading light. But maybe the point was never to find meaning, maybe it was to create it before the dark swallows us whole. You see, death isn't just the end, it's the mirror. It shows you what truly matters. You're terrified of dying because deep down you know you've barely lived. You've played it safe, followed rules, avoided pain, stayed within lines someone else drew for you, and called that a life. You've become so focused on not making mistakes that you've forgotten how to feel alive. You confuse comfort with peace, routine with purpose, and survival with meaning. You are meant to burn, not fade, but you've dimmed yourself for safety, thinking there's more time to shine later. There isn't. Every second you spend pretending you're fine is a second you could have spent being real. Death doesn't want your fear, it wants your awareness. It wants you to remember that you don't own time, you borrow it. You are a visitor here, a brief spark between two eternities of silence. And what you do with that spark, that's your story. So ask yourself, if it all ended tomorrow, would you be proud of how you spent today? Would you be proud of what you gave, who you loved, how deeply you felt? Or would you realize that you spent most of your life watching instead of living? Most people don't die when their hearts stop. They die long before that, the moment they stop feeling wonder. The moment they stop chasing what moves them, the moment they settle for fine. The world is full of the walking dead. People who smile, work, laugh, and post pictures, yet inside there's nothing left burning. They are ghosts haunting their own lives. You see them every day, and sometimes you are one of them. You wake up tired not because you worked hard, but because you ignored your soul too long. You scroll to escape the emptiness, but it's still there waiting in the silence after your screen goes dark. You talk about goals, but you never start. You dream about life, but you never live, and you tell yourself it's okay because everyone else is doing the same. But that's the tragedy, isn't it? We've normalized dying slowly. We've accepted numbness as normal. But it doesn't have to be that way. There is still time, not much, but enough. enough to change, enough to feel, enough to finally stop pretending that tomorrow will be different. It won't be unless you make it. You can't keep waiting for the world to make sense before you decide to live. It never will. Life isn't designed to be fair, peaceful, or easy. It's designed to end. And in that ending lies its meaning. If you truly understood that you're dying, you wouldn't waste another minute hiding behind fear or hesitation. You'd stop waiting for the perfect moment and make the moment perfect instead. You'd say what you've been holding back. You'd forgive, even when it hurts. You'd stop caring about being understood and start caring about being alive. Because none of this, the pain, the doubt, the struggle, lasts forever. The people you love will leave. The things you fear will fade, and one day the noise will stop. The only thing that remains is what you did when you were awake. And maybe that's the point, not to live forever, but to live fully enough that when the end comes, you don't beg for more time. You just smile and say, I used it well. Death isn't here to punish you, it's here to teach you urgency, to remind you that the clock is not your enemy, it's your guide. It tells you when to move, when to feel, when to stop wasting yourself on things that don't matter. The pain of knowing you'll die can either paralyze you or free you, and that choice is yours. You can live in fear of the end, or you can let the end make every beginning sacred. You can keep waiting for peace, or you can create it by accepting that none of this will last. And that's exactly why it's beautiful. You are dying, yes, but so is everything else. And maybe that's what connects us, the shared, silent countdown of existence. We are all falling stars, burning for a moment before the dark swallows us whole. But even a brief light can set the sky on fire. So burn, feel, exist with intensity, cry when you need to, laugh when it hurts, love without restraint, because there is no second round. This is it, right now. The pulse in your wrist, the breath in your lungs, that's all you get. One fragile chance to live before you're gone. So take it. Stop waiting for permission. Stop saving your joy for later. Later doesn't exist. You are already dying. And that's your greatest gift, because once you accept that, you stop wasting your life trying to avoid death and start using it to become alive. So before the lights fade, before the silence takes over, before you become another forgotten name in the wind, live. Not because it's easy, not because it's certain, but because it's all you have. And when the final breath comes, let it find you exhausted from living, not scared of dying. So, if life is just a slow death, why do we keep running? Why do we wake up, fight, and crawl through the same pain again and again? Maybe it's not survival that keeps us here. Maybe it's something deeper. Something we don't understand yet. If death is certain, then what's the point of living? Or is the meaning of life hidden in the very struggle we try to escape? Because maybe the question isn't why we die. It's why we still choose to live.